What's good, everybody? It's your boy Shane Black Reacts, back with another video, back with another banger. Thanks for the love, support. Go ahead and drop a like, comment, share, all that good stuff. If you read the title, you're looking at the thumbnail, you already know what time it is. We talking about MJ's Fadeaway. Perfect. That's what we talking about today. Without further ado, roll the intro.
Michael Jordan became a global superstar largely because no one could fly quite like Air Jordan. But his most clutch baskets came much further from the rim.
Which is facts.
And his signature shots all came when fading away from demoralized defenders.
Which is facts.
Jordan was the fake.
Oh, I love them 12s. I still ain't wore my pair.
How do you stop that shot?
Michael Jordan is torching All-Star Chris Webber's Washington Bullets in Game 2 of a first-round playoff matchup. Jordan scores 55 points, equaling his highest output since unretiring in 1995.
Man,
but it's not just the fact
12s,
that MJ scored 55 in an important playoff
sir. I still
win.
ain't wore them
It's
either. Man,
how
I gotta
he
start.
did it.
You know what? I gotta start wearing my J's, man. Wear y'all shoes, man. Wear y'all shoes. Wear y'all shoes, because I was so disappointed when I see when I saw one of my shoes crumble. I had a pair of the 5s, the Fire Red 5s. I still got a DS pair, but I literally would wear them shoes so often that they broke apart over time. And you know, I noticed shoes that literally break from not being worn. So if I was y'all, you paid all that good money to wear the shoe, go ahead and wear the damn shoe. I'm sorry for the shoe rant, but shout out to my sneakerheads out there.
Brilliance that night epitomizes his game at that
and
key
they not
stage
heavy
of
shoes
his
if you know how to move
career. Take a look at this vintage shot chart from that night. All those red dots are made buckets, but look a little closer. See where most of them fall? They fall in the mid-range. Think how absurd this would look in the modern NBA. During the Bulls' second three-peat, Jordan won 3 straight scoring titles and was far and away the league's most active mid-range shooter.
Yeah, kids, learn something.
His go-to shots in that legendary period were not the incredible gravity-defying dunks that marked the early stages of his career, but rather these absolutely gorgeous mid-range jumpers.
So that's another good question I want to ask you guys. Why is the mid-range jump shot dead? Let me know in the comments below, and I can't wait for it to come back. I think it's coming back. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan, the homie. I think he's bringing that mid-range jump shot back along with a few others. But why do you guys think the mid-range jump shot is dead? Yes, we got the 3. Yes, we got the dunks. But that mid-range is a sweet spot for everybody to eat. You know, we got the teardrop making a slight comeback, but not too many people do that unless you like 6'1", 6'2", 6 feet type of thing. But yeah, let me know in the comments why you think the mid-range is dead and should it come back.
How graceful off the glass. I mean, he was spinning that ball, just hit it so easy and fell in.
13 zone.
Everybody knows that MJ favored those shots, but looking back at the data from that era reveals something else. Jordan wasn't just the most active two-point jump shooter in the world, he was arguably the most efficient one too.
Yes.
But before we dive into MJ's incredible shooting numbers, let's pause for a moment and revisit the scouting reports from the 1980s, when Jordan was a Tar Heel wearing Carolina blue. Jordan wasn't always a good shooter, let alone a great one. Even though he'd won the 1982 NCAA championship with a fearless late-game jumper at age 19, coming out of college in 1984, the word on MJ was that he was a fantastic athlete with a thin frame and a questionable jumper. Rod Thorne, then the GM of the Bulls, recalled, when we looked at him for the draft, he was 195 pounds and 6'6", so he was kind of thin. So the biggest thing about him was, can he make a shot? We wondered what kind of shooter he'd be. So, what kind of shooter would he be? How about the most fearless, most clutch, and most terrifying jump shooter of his era? How about the player that showed us once and for all, great jump shooters can win both scoring titles and NBA championships? But how did he do it? Jordan heard the chatter, he knew his reputation, and he worked tirelessly to build up his jumper. Years later, Phil Jackson, who witnessed Jordan leverage his maniacal work ethic to transform from a rim-attacking leaper into one of history's best late-game marksmen, said this: "The weakest part of Michael's game on the offensive end was his shooting, so he obviously mastered something that everybody said he couldn't do when he came out of college."
You see that? And that speaks to a different mindset you're supposed to have, or you gotta have in this game. Whatever was said about you in your yesteryear or in your youth, and you grow up and you master that as you get older, you're not going to be able to leave that. You can leave that in the past, but keep it in the back of your mind as motivation. You know what I mean? Like going out here and being proficient and basically working on areas of your game. Like, that's what I loved about Michael Jordan. Like, he knew where he needed to get better, and he did it like this. He knew, okay, we going against Detroit. Last year, they ran us up and they beat us up physically. All right, let me get in the gym. Let me hit that gym. He hit the gym, came back. All right, you ain't getting away with it that easy. You can even ask Isaiah. You can go look at the highlights. And Isaiah even spoke to it. He said, hey, you know what? Michael Jordan, he learned his lesson. He got better, and he came back and whooped our ass. Look, ain't nothing wrong with improving. That's where you learn. You know where you weak at, you get strong the following year. Man, that's what y'all need to do now. Like, these kids out here, you know where you lacking at. It could be in education, it could be in sports, it could be in relationships. Like, improve, get better, do better. Like the channel, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Did it by shooting consistently. Jackson said Jordan identified his weaknesses and vowed to turn them into strengths.
Am I right?
It took years and years of workouts, but by the second three-peat, all that work had paid off.
96,
Jordan
97,
extended
98.
his domination by extending his range and by expanding his seemingly limitless arsenal of moves.
Well, you can analyze it all you want, but there's no answer to this. What are you going to do about this? The high jump, the fall-away jumper.
When Jordan sank that iconic dagger to sink the Jazz in the 1998 finals, Bob Costas said it perfectly.
If that's the last image of Michael Jordan, how magnificent is it?
Jordan's magnificence emerged from his endless desire to improve. That fueled him throughout his incredible career to silence his doubters.
Look, I'm going to show y'all something. What's that? What's that? Somebody tell me what that is in the comments. What's that? The iconic jump shot. If you know, you know. I'm just gonna leave this here for a second. 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. Iconic. The GOAT.
The mid-1990s, Jordan had fully morphed into the most lethal and creative mid-range scorer in the world. The numbers are nuts. Let's start in 1996-97, the year of the Bulls' 5th title and the first year the NBA started logging shot location data. Since these were the early days of shot location data, some games are missing from this data set, including 5 of MJ's. But 98.6% of shots in the NBA that season are represented here. That season, 59 NBA players launched at least 300 mid-range shots. Of that large group, Jordan ended up with by far the most buckets. Check this out. That year, Glenn Big Dog Robinson ranked second in the NBA with 391 made mid-rangers. Jordan ended the year with 547.
Sheesh.
The GOAT was far and away the league's most prolific mid-range scorer. Out of those 59 players who tried at least 300 mid-range shots, Jordan also ranked third in efficiency, sinking 49.5% of his attempts.
Who said he wasn't efficient? I heard one of y'all out there saying he wasn't efficient. Who said he wasn't efficient? Y'all said what? I think LeBron was efficient. Somebody said LeBron James was more efficient than Michael Jordan. Nah.
For context, Reggie Miller, commonly regarded as the finest shooter of that era, made 42.4% of his 484 mid-range shots that season. Miller attempted 484. Jordan made 547. First in mid-range scoring, third in efficiency. Despite the fact that Jordan's mid-range game required him to constantly take impossible shots against the league's best defenders on a nightly basis. Jordan got to his jumper countless different ways. He could dribble into a quick stop pull-up like this.
Jordan.
He could use a pump fake to shed a defender like this.
He got Hershey Hawkins in the air.
And occasionally, even the GOAT would be gifted with a nice, clean catch-and-shoot look like this. But the defining shot of these mid-90s Bulls was Jordan's iconic fadeaway jumper. Plenty of post players like Wilt Chamberlain, Patrick Ewing, and Larry Bird were shooting it years before Jordan. However, Jordan transformed the shot into a legendary playground move by making the fadeaway look cooler than anyone else in the history of the game. Jordan's breathtaking athleticism and splendid motor control turned ho-hum back to the basket post-up actions into awe-inspiring artwork. His footwork, his balance, his speed, his poise, and his form were all world-class. And the end result was simply beautiful. Unless, of course, you were trying to stop him. One of his favorite fakes is what he calls the windshield wiper move. It's when he would sell a turnaround jumper toward the left and spring back and instead shoot over his right shoulder or vice versa. This humble little move fueled countless buckets in the late stages of Jordan's career. It also highlights the thoughtfulness behind MJ's greatness, as his incredible athleticism began to diminish into his 30s.
That step through killed a lot of his opponents. Like, I see it being used today, but it's barely used. I think Kobe used it a lot more than anybody, RIP. But that step through, that back to the basket move, I see y'all out here trying it, but y'all gotta execute. I think that's why y'all running away from it in today's game, because y'all don't want to learn it. Y'all don't want to learn it. What did Kareem say? Y'all don't even want to learn the sky hook. Y'all don't want to learn these basic moves in today's game. You'll be killing. I mean, but it is what it is.
Jordan knew he had to keep his defenders off balance. He knew he had to be able to fade over both shoulders. And the windshield wiper was one of his most powerful moves, because when he sensed his defender was leaning too far one way, he could flip the script and glide into a crystal clear shooting pocket.
MJ backs in again, fades from 15 and hits again.
Before Jordan, fadeaways were frowned upon by many coaches. You weren't supposed to shoot the ball while moving away from your target. MJ acknowledged that in training videos, but he countered that repetition turned into good habits, which turned into an efficient shot. Like all transcendent superstars, he created new fundamentals. And in the post-Jordan NBA landscape, the fadeaway jumper became a cornerstone of many of the league's greatest shooters. You might recognize some of these fellas. The true legacy of Michael Jordan isn't just his 6 rings or his signature shoes. It's his unprecedented ability to blend his unique and gorgeous aesthetic to dominate the league, win 10 scoring titles, and completely reshape the look and feel of greatness in the sport of basketball.
And that's where we're going to end it today. Let me know if you like this video. If you guys want to see more videos like this, where it breaks down, you know, key players' games and, you know, what made them iconic. I appreciate you watching this video. And, you know, if you like this video, go ahead and drop a like, comment, share, subscribe. We're growing. I love y'all. Thank y'all. See y'all on the next video. Peace.